The trailer. Okay, so now we're going to take all the samples that we've gathered and we're going to do some testing of those. We're going to do a couple different things to test these. The first one is we want to test the nitrites and nitrates. Let me just find the testing strips. Okay, they will be more accessible usually than this, but if they're not in the cupboard, they'll be in this yellow bucket. And these strips test a lot of different things, but all we're looking to test with them is the nitrites and nitrates. So I'll show you, well, we can go ahead and put them in. So we're basically gonna put one strip in every, oops, that's the timer. One strip in each of these three. Ignore the DI for now. Okay, and then when you look at the instructions on this bottle, there are multiple different guides. One is for fresh water and one is for salt water. We're looking at the one for salt water. And we're only looking at the first two things, the nitrites and nitrates. So you'll see when you take out this strip, it goes like this. I know the top one is kind of dark, but it's not pink. So this is just 0. And then for nitrates and 0 for nitrates. It's always ever been 0 when I've been here. So the issue is if it starts looking pink, we want to know. But the assumption is that it'll be 0. We'll look for each of these three strips. 0, 0. The third one, 0, 0. Cool. Now, typically, what we would do is before we dump out this water, we would test for the pH as well. Unfortunately, the pH probe is broken, so we can't go through that right now. But typically, we would, I'll talk through it a bit. We would take these pH jars, and we're going to fill these with some of the buffer solution to calibrate the pH probe. I'm just going to do one to pretend. So there are buffer solutions for 4, 7, and 10. 4 and 7 are in this yellow bucket, and 10 is in a separate plastic bag. It's actually supposed to stay separate from the others. I don't know. So we basically just need a little bit of the buffer solution in the each of the pH jars. So like I would just do like maybe a little more than that, like that much. And then typically we would fill all three of these with a buffer solution and use this to calibrate the pH tool. Once it's calibrated, we can just dip it in the DI water to clean it, and then we could test the pH of each of these three. So I can show you that next time. And then once we're done with the pH buffer solution, each one of the buffer solution jars has a matching brown jar that says the pH number on it, and that's where we put the buffer solution when we're all done. Gotta empty that. And then we'll just rinse out these cups in the sink here and put everything back away. Any questions?